Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be going over how to use NordVPN effectively, how to keep your internet actions private, and how to use the app in general. Before we get into this tutorial, make sure to check out the link down in the description below and get signed up with NordVPN. You'll get 4 extra free months on top of the original plan that you choose, plus it's an affiliate link and it also helps support the channel, so thank you in advance. But without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. All right guys, here we are on NordVPN. This is the desktop version that I'm using right now. I'm currently on a Mac, but this should be a very similar sequence and a very similar setup on either Windows or Mac, regardless of what platform you're using. So let's talk a little bit about some of the features here and go over how to use NordVPN. So the first thing you're going to notice is this map of the world, and we can zoom out a little bit more and see kind of everything that we're working with here as far as the different servers that you can connect to. And that's essentially what this map is. It's basically just a map of available servers that you can connect to all around the world, depending on where you want to show you are computing from or using your device from. So in this instance, if I wanted to say connect somewhere on the East Coast, like New York, I can click the New York icon right here. And as you can see, it says connecting. After a short time, it now says we are connected to New York. And basically we are now using our signal or using this VPN to broadcast the kind of position that we are using this device from, basically from New York. And again, you can switch on the fly, right? It doesn't have to be just New York. You can go anywhere. You can go to Denver if I wanted to. I can click this and it'll connect there. I can even go all the way across the ocean and go to Europe and connect to, let's say, somewhere in Italy, like Rome. Now it's finding the best server. It might take a couple seconds here to connect. And now, as you can see, I am connected to Rome. And you can do this with anywhere, any server that is available on NordVPN around the world. You can just simply kind of glide through the map and pick which server you would like to connect to. And then you basically just click that button and it's as easy as doing that. Now, let's get into some of the more detailed parts of NordVPN and how you can use it a little bit more effectively than just simply clicking a button on the actual map itself. As you can see here, if you want a more specified list of countries, we have a full list of countries, as you can see, as it goes down here. All the available countries that we can connect to are all over here as well. Now, as you can see, I want to mention this, at the bottom, we have specialty servers. Now, these are servers that you can connect to essentially if you are doing some more specific actions or specific work on the internet that requires a little bit more privacy. For instance, double VPN is basically kind of doubling up the security of your VPN, wrapping it in another layer of a VPN so that way you have an even more secure connection with even more encryption to keep your actions private. Now, we also have the Onion Over VPN, which is a very popular way to access the Onion router or the Tor browser, as many people will know it as. And then we also have PDP connection down here, which is also another useful tool in online private interactions and private browsing. But this is basically what we're kind of dealing with here. We have a recents tab where you can see some of the places that you've connected to recently. So let's say you're a very common user of NordVPN and you are always connecting to, let's say you have a favorite Netflix show in England that you like watching, but it's only available in England. So in order basically to cause the least amount of friction, NordVPN has a recents tab where you can go to whatever it is you've recently connected to. So if you're always going to England, it'll pop up in your recents tab and you can just click that button right there. You don't have to go search for it. You don't have to scroll the map. You can easily just have access to it right there. We also have presets here, downloads, speed, and browsing. Again, speed is just kind of seeing how fast you can connect to these servers. Downloads obviously giving you kind of the idea of how fast a download can be on this connection, and browsing giving you an idea for kind of where the best places to go for browsing are. These are basically just preset that you can use for your VPN actions and your VPN browsing that are basically specified and optimized for those specific actions that you're taking with this VPN. Now, we can head over here to threat protection. Threat protection is another thing that you can also look into when using NordVPN. As you can see here, threat protection, be safer online. Threat protection guards you from cyber threats 24/7, whether you're connected to a VPN or not. As you can see, what does this offer? This is web protection, real-time protecting against malware, trackers, and ads. So you can enable this and that will protect you from some of the cookies and just different things that browsers can attach to internet search browser or whatever it is you're using to browse the internet. Same with files too. This can safeguard a lot of your files and obviously your cloud-based files as well. We also have DNS filtering. This works only when you're connected to the VPN, but DNS filtering blocks ads and malicious domains before they can reach you, which basically is just kind of blocking threats that aren't listed actively that you might not be aware of. It can be useful to turn that on as well, and obviously just help in that kind of general distinction. We can also go down here to web protection, file protection, and settings on this little left browsing bar here just to kind of easily access those. And obviously you can tweak them with the settings bar just down here. Next thing, we have Meshnet. Meshnet basically allows you to link remote devices to access them over encrypted connections. So if you are hosting the VPN on your computer, you can basically add different devices to this secure connection by using Meshnet. Let's say you're hosting a virtual LAN party, right? Location no longer matters. You can play multiplayer games with friends no matter where they are, which is a really, really cool feature that they have involved with this as well. You can also route all of your traffic through another device. Your connection is encrypted just like when connecting to a NordVPN server. And of course, you have access to all of this on the other device's IP address as well. And you can access your files from anywhere. You don't have to only be home, because obviously you're showing that your location is in a different place than you might actually be. Very helpful tool there for just doing things where they're locationally based and you want to be somewhere that isn't based on that location. Very useful stuff and very useful tools there. This is just kind of a results thing. Your info is safe. This kind of does a quick little search just on the overall dark web or any place where your internet or your internet history or your information could be at risk. And it basically tells you whether or not that information is either being compromised or is something that you need to be worried about. But always nice to kind of have that and keep that in mind, and just see this in general, that we can see the dark web monitor really keeps us with a little bit more safer kind of mindset in that. And then of course, overview, you can combine custom VPN connection settings with shortcuts to apps or websites for secure one-click access. So this is just kind of speeding things up if you really wanted. If I want to speed up downloads, I can click connect and it will connect me to the optimized server for getting the most secure connection for downloads. Speed is the same thing, and so is browsing. You can even add a new one. As you can see here, you can optimize for different things like browsing, speed, downloads, and all of that. And you also obviously can change your VPN protocol and change which recommended country you connect to as well. So just giving you a added layer of customization that really just helps with the overall workflow, especially if you use VPNs on whatever it is you're doing, right? Whether you're browsing the internet, whether it's part of your career or just in general. This is something that you do quite a bit on your personal internet browsing as well. Can be very useful. This is statistics. So this is kind of cool. It just gives you a brief synopsis of basically how you're using the VPN, what's been going on, right? The weekly time that you've been protected, just in general, some of the connection times, IP addresses, and things like that you might want to see just on the fly. And of course, that's a very nice thing to have at your disposal, right? You can see the protocol once it's connected, and of course, all the other statistics and metrics that you might find useful as well. Down here is just kind of a little email support, knowledge base, activity logs. These are just kind of basic help options. And then you have your settings. This settings is basically a kind of way to take a quick look at all the different things that you might need to know when it comes to operating this. You can basically initiate or enable launch the app on computer startup. So if you want this app to launch, that will be an option that you have at your disposal. And as you can see, we also have your VPN protocol that you can choose here, which is basically just a few different protocols that people like to use when they're browsing the internet. And you can also stay invisible on a local network. This keeps your device invisible to a local network when connected to a VPN, which can be nice if you are utilizing things like coffee shop connections, right? Public Wi-Fi. Sometimes you might want to still remain anonymous on those, and this is where that feature kind of comes in handy. So you can obviously initiate that if that's something that you desire. Also, automatically check for updates. Never hurts to have that on, right? Just in case. We want to make sure that we are fully up to date and everything is working as it should be. And then of course, help us improve. That's just obviously getting kind of crash reports, data reports, anything that you might need to send off to NordVPN to give them feedback. Again, auto connect, just speeding up your overall process, giving you basically when using an untrusted network, it will connect you to blah, 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 just so that way you have a quicker response to a more trusted network or a more safe network or private network. In any case, this is a way to kind of just speed up that process in general. We also have something called Kill Switch. Kill Switch is interesting because basically you can initiate it by choosing an app on your computer, and it basically says that once that app is open, it will basically kill the VPN connection and it will disconnect you if there's some things you need to access a certain connection point for. This can be useful for that as well. But also down here, you have an enable option where you can quit apps in the list if the connection to NordVPN, which is nice again for just efficiency's sake and things of that nature. It's the same thing as the kill switch thing. You can just set up kind of shortcuts that enable you to just do things faster, right? Set up your DNS servers faster, connect to DNS servers faster, and things of that nature. This is kind of fun. You can also change your appearance, right? If you want things to look a little different, you can change your menu bar. You can make it into something like this. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with that specific option as well. Let's get back to settings though. We don't want to keep that forever because obviously that kind of makes it a little bit jarring to look at. But basically that's kind of what you can do with appearance. Kind of fun little thing there. Also switch from light to dark mode. If you're more of a light mode person or a dark mode person, you can do that as well. And then you can see your account and then of course all the other general settings as well. But ultimately guys, that's about it. That is the ultimate guide to using NordVPN. If you guys want to get get started with NordVPN, make sure to hit the link down in the description below. You'll get 4 extra free months on the plan that you end up signing up with. And of course, it also helps support the channel because it is an affiliate link. So we are thankful for any and all signups that you guys do end up going through with. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.